Good morning. I hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's dig into it. We've got more taco tariffs this morning and what it is and how it's going to affect you. We've got James Comey indicted, and we've got Hegseth with a incredibly confusing and scary hell, I don't even know how to characterize it. It appears to be just a blatant takeover of the military. Let's dig into it. Let's talk about it. So yeah, let's dig into it. We've already got a comment here from Skeet Sayer. Starting early, this one is huge. Trump turns on Putin. Hegseth calls in the generals. NATO and Russia are on the brink. They will try to implement martial law to avoid the midterms. That special election in Arizona is a huge wake up for the Reds. Yeah, that's one avenue that people are talking about. It is. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about that at the end of the story. Phantom Pup, I see you. Thank you for the support, brother. I do, but I can't pull your super up. It's too far behind in the chat. Can't reach it. Skeet said, by the way, after a Canadian was murdered in Wisconsin, Canadians will be even more not wanting to visit the USA. It's just one thing after another, after another, after another. This administration is just a disaster. George Allen, thank you for always being here, sir. Let's dive in first with the tariffs. We've got the old taco cup out, going with the tariff theme. Let's talk about it. We two different tariff announcements, and of course, as usual, a first world country always announces things by post. Trump says we will be imposing a 50% tariff on all kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and associated products starting October 31st, 2025. Additionally, we will be charging a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture. The reason for this is the large-scale flooding of these products into the United States by other countries, other outside countries. It is a very unfair practice, but we must protect for national security and other reasons our manufacturing process. Thank you for your attention to this matter. As we all know, sofas are definitely a matter of national security. We broke this down before, folks. We did. We broke this down before. It's illegal for him to just slap additional tariffs on countries. The only way that he can do it is to expand existing tariffs, which means just adding items to already existing tariffs. This is the top four importers of furniture into the United States is number one, Vietnam, number two, China, number three, Canada, number four, Mexico. You get the picture now, right? I mean, this is just, they won't allow me to put the tariffs on things I want to, so I'm going to just arbitrarily pick shit out of the sky. Don't get me wrong. It is hard on, you ask the folks in North Carolina, ask the folks here in Texas. Yeah, there's a lot of really good quality furniture manufactured right here in Texas. There's a company up the road in Texarkana called Mayo. I actually own one of their sofas. We got a hell of a deal on it. Again, kudos to Mrs. Texas Paul for being so good at watching our pennies. But we ended up buying a closeout and got a hell of a deal on it. Things built like a tank, heavy as a bus. It's 12 years old now, I think, and it still looks like the day we bought it. There's some really good American-made furniture here in the United States if you want it, but it is very expensive. It is very expensive. It is prohibitively expensive. I will tell you that. We would not have bought that sofa if we had not gotten it on a clearance. Now, don't come at me. I'm not going to say that all American-made furniture is hyper expensive. I am not. But that is the market that American manufacturers went after. They don't want to compete for us poors. They don't. They want the high-end market. And they got it. They've got it. What is, a tariff like that? He's going after, Waverly, IKEA level, the shit that you and I buy. Usually, that's who he's going after. That's who he's going after. There is no market for that here. This is just dumb as dog shit. It just is. No manufacturer in that market is going to open up more factories here in the United States. It's just not. All this is his blackmail got cut off with Canada. His blackmail got cut off with Mexico. His blackmail got cut off with China. So this is just something he can add to it. He's having a hissy fit. Again, this makes no sense whatsoever if you look at the actual market. George Allen, thank you for always being here, brother. Thank you for always being here. Yes, this is a great way to get really great furniture because there's a whole class. I used to know a secondhand furniture shop that had relationships with designers. Courtney here says used American made. On that note, like I said, I used to know a shop that had relationships with interior decorators, and those interior decorators serviced very high-end clients, and they would change out their furniture every couple of years. They would just redecorate every couple of years, and you would get like new secondhand furniture from, just your high-end manufacturer. Ethan Allen, y'all people can rattle them off better than I can. A lot of your North Carolina outfits, you really could get good deals, and I highly recommend it. I really do. Highly recommend secondhand furniture. You can find some really great stuff out there. You really can. But as far as Trump and this tariff and all that nonsense goes, this is just stupidity. It just really is. Drexel, that's a good one there. Yeah. Drexel. Thomasville. But you even take, some of these higher end brands, they've got budget lines that they don't manufacture themselves. They're buying them out of factories in Vietnam. That's how Vietnam became such a huge importer. It is just what it is. I mean, you can demand American made products. Yeah. But then you've got to pay for American made products. And there are just some things, our economy, workers got left behind, folks. They did. The rich got a lot richer, but the workers didn't. Every year, inflation kicks workers in the nuts. And it is to the point now where if you tried to make everybody buy American made for everything, that wouldn't happen. Everything would just shut down. And along those lines, you've got this idiocy. This is just dumb as dog shit. It really is. There's a lot of people trying to fearmonger off of this. Let me read it to you. Again, first world government operating by post, social media post. Starting October 1st, 2025, we will be imposing a 100% tariff on any branded or patented pharmaceutical product unless a company is building their pharmaceutical manufacturing plant in America, will be defined as breaking ground or under construction. There will therefore be no tariff on these pharmaceutical products if construction has started. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay. First thing that happened when this came out is investors went into full freak out mode. They did. And the market, taco trades, everybody jump in the market, taco trades. Then everybody in the industry realized, this is complete crap. This is complete crap. It's meaningless. It is completely meaningless. I'm going to punch CNN in the mouth, and then I'm going to give them a big hug and kudos for the same article. The headline is shit. A 100% tariff on some imported drugs is coming October 1st, Trump says. Now, at least they put the caveat Trump says on there. There's a lot of people on social media. There's a lot of people in the media that are really fear-mongering over this. And I don't understand. I mean, I don't blame people for being scared. I really don't. But I don't understand people intentionally misinforming people. Folks, if you look at what he has written there, every manufacturer out there already has labs here in the U.S. This was a dig at India is who it was aimed at. This was a dig at India. They're pissed at Modi because he and she over in China are really tying up, and Modi has been very vocal about our trade policy and what a shit show it is. And Trump has the feels. This is about going after India. The problem is every major manufacturer out there already has U.S. factories. And I can assure you what that post does not mean is that every named drug must be made in the United States of America. Because if he did that, your drugs would go up about 1,000%. They would. That is not what that post means. That's why there were so many caveats in it. You have to build a factory here. They already have factories here. They're already exempt. In fact, you've got industry analysts that are already coming out and telling people, relax. This is nothing. This is from Jared Holtz, one of the analysts made by Mizuho. The actual comment from the president is direct, but its impact may be somewhere between nebulous and negligible. All major players have some production presence domestically, and almost all have announced increased investment directly tied towards local manufacturing. So much like when Trump put the National Guard into Washington, D.C., but after crime had already fallen, so he could turn around and say, woo, look what I did. Crime is low in D.C. I put the guard there. No, these companies are already making drugs here and had already planned on new factories here. This is not new. But Trump wants to put his name on all of that. He wants to claim credit for all of that when he did nothing. He did nothing. Do you know what is driving pharmaceuticals making more drugs here? What is driving that? The dollar's weakening. The dollar is weakening, which is naturally making drugs manufactured overseas more expensive. It's like a built-in tax on you. It's like a built-in tax on you. And these companies know, hey, if we don't if we don't move our production to the U.S. Because of that currency devaluing, we're just going to lose market share. I mean, better to have something than nothing. We'll make it there so that we can keep our profit levels up. This has nothing to do with Trump. Nothing at all. This was good governance by pharmaceutical companies acting correctly on behalf of their investors. But, just like, Trump loves to claim credit for shit. He claimed credit for the infrastructure bill. He claimed credit for all of the new projects. They're running around slapping Trump's name on all kinds of projects that are come directly out of the last administration's infrastructure bill. They're putting Trump's name all over it. Same thing. That's all this is about. So I don't want you panicking about your drugs. I don't. Inflation is bad enough. Inflation is bad enough. It is. It is bad enough. Somebody asked about IKEA. A lot of IKEA stuff it's not made in Europe. It's made in Vietnam. It's just like Waverly. They take it straight out of factories in China and Vietnam and slap it in an IKEA box and sell it as Northern European furniture. But yeah, I just read those this morning and I was like, oh shit, people are going to get hurt bad. They are really going to, because everybody was spinning it that way. Oh my God, this is just going to just drive drug prices through the roof. And the more I dug into it, no, this hits virtually no one. I mean, there's just there are a handful of drugs. One that I will tell you was significant. Are you folks familiar with gabapentin or Neurontin? The brand name is Neurontin. The generic is gabapentin. I don't buy anything but generic drugs, and you will notice that this tariff exempts generic drugs. It does. Generic drugs are not applied. Gabapentin, Neurontin, yeah. It is I believe it's manufactured in India. That one is going to get hit square between the eyes on this tariff, and it is an incredibly useful drug, used in everything. From you see people listing in the chat. That's why I love you people so much. You're so informed. We've got an audience full of professionals and people with experience and people that know things. Parallel conversations that add so much to I am so grateful for all of you being here. But yeah, it is used all over, but most people take gabapentin. Very few people take the name brand version of that drug because the generic version works just as well. So yeah, the name brand version of gabapentin is going to hit bam right between the eyes, which is going to again affect who? I can't sit here and fearmonger over this shit because I don't know about you. Are any of you taking the name brand versions of gabapentin? I don't know. I don't see who this affects. I really don't. Very few people. So yeah, avoid the fear mongering on that one. This is just Trump being Trump. Dumb. Just being dumb. And I really think that one was just about the taco trades. And if you don't know what a taco trade, if you're new to the audience, you don't know what a taco trade is. It is something that was a term that actually came out of Wall Street themselves. They are trades that when Trump says something really stupid, and it affects the markets, the market panics and reacts and stocks go down. People with a brain buy in. because they know those stocks are going to immediately, once the full story comes out, those stocks are going to immediately come back, and it's free money. Basically, they call them taco trades because it stemmed from Trump saying, "I'm going to put massive tariffs on China." And everybody would freak out, and the market would freak out. Everybody would buy in good, safe stocks. They would buy in, and the next day, oh, well, we made a deal. No more trade on China. And then the market would rebound. No more tariffs on China. And they never made a deal. They never anything. So, yeah, if you don't know what a taco trade is and why we're making fun of Trump, Trump, it stands for Trump always chickens out. George Allen, caregiver, 10 years. I know it. Thank you. Appreciate you for being here, brother. I appreciate you for being here. I was bragging on y'all today. I really was. I was bragging on y'all today when I put out the thumbnail for the show. I try to get as many people to come in here and be part of y'all's conversation because you people are so damn well informed. You have so much worldly experience in the things that we're talking about. I know because you reach out to me, and after this show, there will be people in the audience that reach out to me that are like, "Hey, I'm a farmer, I'm a whatever," you know what I mean, or I'm in the military. I know what this means. Let me expand on what you said a little bit. I mean, it's just blows my mind the quality of people that we put together here. It does. It just blows my mind. But yeah, we've got something else going on with these Republicans that is just scummy. No other way to put it, just scummy. This is Mikie Sherrill. We've talked about Mikie Sherrill before when she was actually running the first time. For you folks, it may be familiar to you. Colleen Sarah, so first he's going to decrease prices by 1,000% and then increase them by 100%. I know, right? I know. They're actually saying, thank you for saying that. They're actually saying that somehow putting these tariffs on these drugs is reducing drug prices. And the dumbest among us are just nodding along. But this is Mikie Sherrill. Mikie Sherrill is a bona fide American badass. She is. She is a bona fide American badass. She really is. I mean, she earned the title. She graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy. And she flew one of these bad boys. This is a Sea King, a Sikorsky Sea King. This thing is incredible. This is incredible. I want you to imagine, this is like a flying 18-wheeler, but it has the agility of a ballerina. This is a mind-blowingly amazing feat of engineering that Sikorsky came up with. And Mikie Sherrill, this is what she did for about 10 years for the Navy, is she flew a Sea King. I mean, she really is. I mean, she is badass. George, thanks so much. I love you too, brother. I do. Thank you for always being here. All right, we got people that voted for her. Yeah. Well, this is happening. And let me just give you, before we get into what's out, let me give you a little bit of background. Mikie Sherrill, I mean, she did an amazing job. She really did. She won her district handily. She kicked the crap out of Joseph Belno. She really did. She went out there. She did the work. She ran a brilliant campaign. Folks love her. Now she's running for governor. Governor Murphy is out. He's not going to be running again. Mikie Sherrill is running for governor. She's running against a guy by the name of Jack Ciattarelli. And I know that's not how you pronounce his name, but that's how I will pronounce his name from now on because of this news story. Jack Ciattarelli. Yeah, that campaign just went south. It just went south. Ciattarelli's people, when digging into Mikie Sherrill's background, they did a no-no. See, everybody can put in a FOIA request. Anybody can put in a FOIA request. But It is your campaign's responsibility when you or a surrogate get something illegal or wrong. We've seen Democrats do this before. Pete Buttigieg famously did this. I actually covered it when it happened. He was given some illegal information. He turned it over to the cops. That's what you're supposed to do when something like this happens. Republicans? No. Decency, rules, laws, none of that matter to them. None of that mattered to them. John Wilming, thank you for being here. What's happened is the Trump administration, they run NARA now. They run NARA. They run the National Archives and Records Administration. And more importantly, the department of NARA, the National Personnel Records Center, the NPRC. Are you following me? The NPRC is National Personnel Records Center is underneath NARA. The Trump administration runs it all. A surrogate for Jack Ciattarelli trying to dig up dirt on Mikie Sherrill gets way more information than he's entitled to. For some reason, the Trump administration decided to release not just what you can get through a FOIA request. They decided to release everything. They released Mikie Sherrill's social security number, her address. They released information on her parents and their home address, her life insurance policy and the benefit. They released the information on the beneficiaries of her life insurance policy. All of it they dumped into the hands of this guy. This guy just looks like a walking impulse control problem. Oh, my God. This is Nicholas DeGregorio. He's a failed Republican congressional candidate and former Marine who was tasked with attacking Mikie Sherrill. That was his job. Dig up dirt on Mikie Sherrill, so that we can say it comes from a former Marine, and attack her military record, which is stellar. They dumped all of this shit. First of all, this is who these people are. His first request came back blank, completely blank. You know why? Because he couldn't spell Mikie Sherrill. Yeah. His first response from NARA was, we don't know who the hell you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about. He couldn't spell Mikie Sherrill. So he gets on the phone and he calls the NPRC, gets put through, and we don't know what happened in that conversation. But for some reason, they just dumped everything in his hands. Everything they had, they just, here. Including all of her personal information. Which is not the story that they really wanted to happen. They didn't want it to be about she was being doxxed. What they wanted was they took a look at when she graduated. Back in 1994, there was a scandal in the Naval Academy. There was a scandal. $125 were found to have cheated on a Naval Academy exam. And they wanted more than anything for Mikie Sherrill to be one of those people that was caught cheating on that exam. 25 people got expelled. The rest of them got their record to reflect that they had cheated on the exam. No, that wasn't the case. What they did find is that Mikie Sherrill was not allowed to walk the stage when she graduated. She did not cheat. She was not implicated in cheating in any way, shape, or form, but she was not allowed to walk the stage Our military folks, can you tell them why she was not allowed to walk the stage? Can you guess why she was not allowed to walk the stage? 15th Fed, it's been a hell of a year. Yeah. She has an exemplary service record, by the way. Exemplary. Can any of you guess why the United States Navy punished her and said she couldn't walk the stage? Close, but just the opposite. Just the opposite. See, Mikie Sherrill, when over 100 people are cheating, it gets out. It does. And Mikie Sherrill said, look, no, I don't want any part of it. Y'all do you. She focused on her exam, and it came out that, yeah, she had found out ahead of time, before they cheated, that they were going to cheat. And she didn't snitch. And she didn't snitch. When directly asked about it in the investigation, she was completely forthcoming. But because she didn't snitch, and the honor code in the United States Navy says that if you know somebody's going to cheat or break the law, you have to inform your chain of command. She was punished. You cannot walk the stage. That was it. That was, no, she did not cheat. She did not cheat. What she was guilty of is not being a rat. Exactly. Exactly. Mikie Sherrill is an American badass, and she ain't no snitch. But De Gregorio is. He sure as hell is. Because even what he told the New York Times in this article was he was shocked. He couldn't believe he was given all this personal information that he knew he wasn't supposed to have. Did he do the right thing? No. No. He handed all that information over to Schiaparelli. And Schiaparelli's campaign is being reported, distributed it. That's why Jack will always be known forever and ever, amen, from now on as Schiaparelli. They knew they were not entitled to this information. They knew that they were not entitled to have her social security number and all her personal information. And they distributed it anyways. And all they got out of it is Mikie Sherrill's not a snitch. Way to go, Mikie. So we're going to do it a little different. We're not going to roundtable at the end of the show. I want to know how y'all feel about that. That honor code is real. You're supposed to step up as an officer in the Navy, in the Army. As an officer, you are in the United States military. If you know wrongdoing is happening, you're supposed to speak up. But we also know snitches get stitches. We also know that a cadet who's in finals probably doesn't want to be completely freaking distracted with being a rat, because that doesn't always go well in the military. It doesn't always bode well for you to be the snitch. The honor code says that you have to be the snitch, but what's going to happen are they going to close ranks around these sailors? Are they going to, you don't know. I mean, I'm just telling you how I feel about it. I want to know how you feel about it. This is a cadet that is in finals, isn't cheating, has done nothing wrong. And she's just like, not me. Nope. Go, get. Don't want nothing to do with that. But she doesn't snitch. How do y'all feel about that? About the Navy punishing her? Jackie Reynolds, thanks for the discussions. We never hear or read if we were plugged into the mainstream's propaganda channel. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind words. I appreciate you. George Allen, this is nuts. But really, I want to know. I want to know how you folks feel. I have incredible respect for you as an audience. How do you folks feel about it? I mean, because I know when I first read it, I was like, "Uh-oh, what happened? What happened?" Then I read, I found out what actually happened, and I hate to say it, but I was like, "Well, yeah, of course she didn't snitch. Of course she didn't snitch." And I see some comments that she paid the price for integrity. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that are straight up snitches. They really are. They can't wait to tattle. You know, the military does too, for the most part. That was the thing that I took from it was, damn, you know, being the one that talks really never really serves your career well in the military. 12 a.m. tears, 65 female widow caregiver to a double amputee hubby. My twins and myself are in the puts. I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it. You are. We're going to be good. We're going to get through this. We are going to get through this. We are going to get through this. She has to share a proverbial foxhole with these candidates. Don't snitch. I don't know. That was my thing. But then to see the Sherrill campaign turn around and just dox her. That's what they did. They just shared this among their surrogates. Just passed it around. Hell, CBS News has a copy now. CBS News has a copy now. I don't know, folks. I'm kind of with you. I was like, no. I'm glad to see the Democrats came out swinging on this because this is a crime. This is a crime. There's a 1974 law that says you can't do this. You can't do this. And they want to know. They want to know because what happened was DeGregorio didn't get the information he wanted because, first of all, he misspelled her freaking name. So he called on the phone and had a conversation with a clerk. And the clerk just broke all rules. This isn't normal, folks. They don't normally just hand over a full file. That's the irregular part. That clerk knows the normal thing is there's redactions. For Christ's sake, this is a clerk that does this every day for a living. So Democrats are like, look, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. We want an investigation. We want to know why did that clerk break the norms? And DeGregorio's like, I was shocked. Really, dude? Really? But not shocked enough to, call the NPR, forgive me, the NPRC. Forgive me. I've got allergies today. You have to forgive. My eyes are watering and I'm going to be snuffled for a little bit. I apologize. But you didn't let them know they made the mistake. You distributed it. You couldn't have been that freaking shocked. Peter Campbell, when I coached and one of the kids did something above and beyond, I would tell them, your parents are going to find out. From me or from you, choose. I hear you, brother. I hear you. But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually thinking this works in Mikie Sherrill's favor. Mikie Sherrill ain't no snitch. I mean, they desperately want to attack her military record. They do. Sherrill, he knows that he's going to get his ass cleaned, especially with the way things are going. We just had the big, we just had the election in Arizona where Adelita Grijalva outperformed what anybody expected. Republicans are in a panic, man. They know that these campaigns are going to get ugly. And speaking of ugly, this is something else that we're going to have a roundtable about because, when I first heard about this, when I heard that they were planning on doing it, we talked about Lindsay Halligan in the last show. When I heard they were even just planning on this, I had such mixed emotions. And I need y'all to tell me if this makes me a bad person. If this makes me a bad person. One part of me said, okay, this is just an abuse. This is an abuse of the office. This is a president abusing his office. This is impeachable shit here. Then the other side said, yeah, fuck that guy. I'm not going to lie. I did. Part of me had such schadenfreude. I mean, I did. I literally said those words out loud. Yeah, fuck that guy. Where are y'all on it? I mean, does that make me horrible? I mean, does that make me a horrible person? That I am both, yes, this is an abuse of power and we've got to go after this, but also on the other side of it, yeah, you get what you deserve, bitch. This really is an abuse of power. We talked about Lindsay Halligan. Lindsay Halligan, she's a pageant princess, literally, Miss Colorado, pageant princess, turned lawyer, went and got her law degree, turned insurance lawyer. She's not a prosecutor. She has no prosecutorial background at all. She's an insurance lawyer, turned defense attorney. For some reason, Trump hired her as a defense attorney, even though she's an insurance attorney. Y'all speculate why he hired the pageant princess from one of his own pageants. Y'all can speculate as to why that happened. Bruce Barrows, Republicans will redact the Epstein files. Yeah, they're going to try. They're going to try, but it's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. Skeet Sayer, Charlie Kirk, Bill Barr, Comey, and others are people that have done enough to not to be celebrated. Yeah. Weirdly, Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, was friends with Halligan. Forgive me for rubbing my nose. I really am having allergies this morning. I do apologize. But yeah, she's a pageant princess with Erica Kirk. Gets her law degree, becomes an insurance lawyer. She's not a prosecutor or anything. For some reason, y'all speculate why Donald Trump hired the pageant princess lawyer to be his defense attorney, but he did. And then from there, she was a consultant for the White House. And nobody can tell me what the fuck she consulted on. What did she consult on? What did she do for us taxpayers to pay her a living? I don't know. M.M., thank you for being here. So glad to see the new folks. I am so glad to see the new folks. Thank you for supporting the show. I'm truly grateful. I really have not been able to find what she consulted on. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could tell you. But I can't. George on Schadenfreude, love it. I'm German from Indiana. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Ron Slater, no sympathy for Comey, but still sets a bad precedent as an abuse of power. And I've got to tell you, I do. I've got to tell you, this indictment is a shit show. It is a shit show. It is pure abuse. Both John Durham and Eric Siebert. You all know who John Durham was. And Eric Siebert both looked at this information and said, no. There's no indictable offense here at all. What this circles around, what this circles around is Russia, Russia, Russia. They're claiming the indictment, which is, from what I'm reading, it's being characterized as an incredibly poorly prepared indictment that is vague. So people are having to do deductions on what the hell Halligan is talking about. And all they can seem to come up with is Comey he's being indicted for lying to Congress, basically, for perjuring himself before Congress. 2 counts of it. And what people are deducing from this shabbily put together indictment is that they're talking about his hearing where he gave testimony that he didn't release any information on Trump or Hillary Clinton. That he didn't release any information that was supposed to be handed to the press. He didn't like go through a surrogate or anything like that or sneak out. They're saying, oh, you lied about that. And again, this is not a new allegation. 12 a.m. tears. I feel so unimportant these days. Don't. You are incredibly important. And I'm gonna tell you why here in just a minute. Colleen Sarah, no one besides her would sign the indictment, says volumes. Yeah. I mean, if you don't remember, Eric Siebert resigned because the White House told him to indict Comey on this. And he said, no. They told him to go after Letitia James and a bunch of these. Like, no, I reviewed everything you asked me to review, and there's nothing here. There's nothing to indict these people over. And you know who knows that? This guy. This guy knows it. This is Judge Michael Nachmanoff. This is the judge that drew the short straw on this and is about to be really, really, really famous. He knows that John Durham looked at this already. Skeetsier says Trump met with Lavrov alone first day 2016, no press, and Russia is a hoax. Yeah, we all know about Russia. We all know about their involvement. It's documented. The troll farms, the social media presence, all of it. We know all of it. That's why this has nothing to do with that. They're trying to indict him for lying to Congress because he said he never intentionally. They have to prove intent. They have to get in the man's head and say, yes, I intended to hand this information to this moron who turned around and leaked it. I intended for him to leak it. No way. No freaking way. Lindsay Halligan is going to get dog walked. She's going to walk into an incredibly hostile judge because let me tell you something. For all the differences I have with John Durham and the way he handled basically everything in his last special prosecutor's assignment, Glenn Kaneko, she could lose her law license for filing a false lawsuit. Yeah, there's going to be repercussions for this. This isn't just going to go away. She thinks that Trump's going to protect her. I got news for her. Trump's going to die. Trump is old. He is diseased and he is dying. I don't know what these people are thinking. Vincent Day, thank you. You know who opposes this? Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi said, look, I just want to go on the record here and say, I don't support this. But the White House said, do it, so we're going to do it. I mean, really. I mean, this is just a shit show. But for all of my differences with John Durham, he is an experienced prosecutor. The man, Eric Siebert, the man that Lindsay Halligan replaced, is an experienced prosecutor. Hell, did y'all ever see that movie Black Mass with Johnny Depp? I think it's one of Johnny Depp's best movies. Did y'all ever see that movie Black Mass about the Whitey Bulger story? This is, believe it or not, this is actually Johnny Depp. This is Johnny Depp on the right. Yeah, that's really Johnny Depp. He plays Whitey Bulger. If you know the story of Whitey Bulger, he turned an FBI agent. He turned an FBI agent. He was supposed to be an informant for John Connally, and he turned John Connally into a convict. The special prosecutor that sent John Connally to jail was John Durham. I mean, he understands complex prosecutions, and he took a look at this and said, no. Vincent Day, thank you for being here, brother. I really appreciate you. Another foundational member of the show. If you have never seen Dark Mass, or pardon me, Black Mass, Dark Mass, where the hell is that coming from? Black Mass, you go watch that movie. If anything, just to see Johnny Depp look like a bald white man. I mean, bald old white man. I mean, yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. George Allen, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you. So yeah, again, I'm going to ask you folks, where are y'all at on this? I know where I'm at. This is an abuse of power, but I'm not where everybody else is. I'm not, oh, we Democrats, we need to get us back on the high road. We need to fix this, and no, I'm a low road Democrat. Where I'm at is thank you. Thank you, Lindsey Halligan. Thank you, Donald Trump, because you just made it okay. I don't want to be better than you. This is blatant. We have the post from Donald Trump where he said, I want you to go after these people. And you did. Okay. I want the next attorney general to be a freaking brutal knife fighter, a political warrior. I want the next Democratic attorney general in 2028 to be more political than lawyer. I want them prosecuting Republicans that even came adjacent to a crime. You want to say it's bad that Mickey Haller didn't, or Mickey Haller, as from Lincoln Lawyer. Love that book, by the way. If you've never read it, it's a great book. But if you want to say that Mikie Sherrill's a bad person for not being a snitch, fine. Prosecute every freaking Republican that even got a text message about a crime. I don't want to be high road anymore. I don't. There was a time when I wanted to say, okay, thank you, Liz. I truly appreciate you. I'm truly grateful. There was a time when I wanted to say, okay, let's elect Democrats so that we can bring decency back. Let's elect Democrats so that we can bring decency back. And I'm not there anymore. I'm saying let's elect Democrats that will do what Republicans do to such a horrible extent that even Republicans say, please, can we do something about this? We'll help you write the legislation. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm not. Thank you. That's where I'm at. New West Bill, I will support you. Does not matter how. I appreciate you, brother. You're talking about the membership. I received a couple of emails from people. We're getting more and more new people here. We've got tons of subscribers that are new subscribers, by the way. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button so you can get this kind of information and this kind of conversation. You're not going to get it anywhere else. George Allen, all right, the fact man. Thanks, George. I appreciate you. So yeah, I had a couple of people reach out via email about the memberships again. So I just wanted to put the poll out there. I wanted to see where you people are. I'll look at it after the show. I may run that poll a couple times to see how people feel about it. Right now, I don't do memberships because, like I said, it feels a little bit like gatekeeping. But if enough of you want it, we'll do it. This is your show as much as mine. But yeah, I want to wrap this up with this. We got some really scary shit going on. If you haven't been paying attention, of course, we've got the shutdown fight that's going to be all next week. The government shuts down early October. If they don't pass a funding bill, the government shuts down early October. So we've got a fight out there. We do. We've got a fight out there about that. Nobody in Congress needs to be distracted with anything else. So of course, Pete Hegseth says, everybody that's an 07 or above, I want you at Quantico for a meeting next week. And they are releasing no information about it. Folks, that's a 1-star general or above. He's pulling them from every single theater on the planet. And their staff. He wants their staff there too. Folks, this is unheard of. I'm really disappointed in the corporate media because they keep calling it rare. It's not rare. It's unheard of. This doesn't happen. That's every 1-star and above in every branch of service. He's going to pull to Quantico at the exact same time one day next week. And then they won't say why. Press has reached out to several senior officers in the military. They don't know why. Leading everybody to speculate. And I'm not exaggerating. This is the order. All general officers in command and grade 07 through 010, that is 1 to 4 stars. And their general officers, senior enlisted advisors, their staff, are directed to attend within operational constraints. Yeah. This is insane. This is insane. And there's a lot of different speculation. They've been engaging in force reduction. The most plausible thing that I've heard is they're going to invite, it's going to be a sign a loyalty pledge or retire meeting. That is the most credible speculation I'm hearing. That's what that meeting is about. That he's going to the upper echelon of the military. And then promote up people that they deem loyal to Trump. That is insane and terrifying. That means our country changes next week. That means our country changes next week. Colleen and Sarah, for everyone sharing your knowledge from America and around the world, you make this community democracy stronger. Thank you. Colleen, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate the support. I am truly grateful. Cannot do it without you. Do you think it is a military purge of decent? Yeah, I do. I think that it is. They are looking to replace everybody from 1 star up with people that will 100% bend the knee to Trump. Carl Rossi, not cinching on future potential crime is honorable. Trump has abused power all of his life. He will keep doing it till he dies. Hegseth is a wimp of a leader and will surround himself with the same bootlickers. Very well said, sir. Could not have said it better myself. George Allen, yeah, this is strange. This is a strange meeting. We've got service members in the military. You've got people comparing this to the Night of the Long Knives. You've got people And he's doing it in the middle of a shutdown fight in which Congress can't be distracted. Because this idiotic thing that Republicans do, Democrats tried to do away with this. I just want to remind you, the debt ceiling that we keep running up against, the debt ceiling, yeah, that was created for back in the horse and buggy days, when it could take weeks, some cases even months, for a representative to get from his district all the way back to Washington, D.C. They had to do it by riverboat. They had to do it by horse. They had to do it by train. The debt ceiling was to keep someone from going nuts without the representatives there to stop them. Unless we motivate that 90 million voters that didn't vote in November, get out there and vote. I hear you. Okay, I want you to marinate that on that for a little bit. I do. I want you to marinate on that for a little bit. That, yeah, this craziness is really happening. And again, what I was saying about the debt ceiling, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get I distracted myself. That's not necessary anymore. That's not necessary anymore. If there's a crisis in D.C., you could be to D.C. in hours now. From any point in this, from Alaska, it may take you a day. If there is an emergency session, a member of Congress has a travel budget. They can go to, they can literally charter a private plane if they have to. This whole debt ceiling is just not necessary anymore. It's just, and the Democrats tried to do away with it. And the Republicans, they just absolutely love it because they would blackmail every single time. Give us goodies for our mega donors. Give us goodies for our tax breaks. Give us money for the people that pay for our steak budget and pay for our private travel and pay for our caviar and pay for our private club memberships, or we will hurt Americans. Every damn time, that's the way the negotiation goes with Republicans. Every damn time. Thomas Keene, Putin sending his Novichok supply to that new night of the long nights. Yeah, you can't overlook that, the insanity of that. Really? Every 1 star and above in the exact same place at the exact same time? With Grandpa Poopy Pants? With Poopy Poppy? In the White House? That doddering old fool? Jesus. You talk about tactically terrifying. George Allen, let's go back to horse and buggy day. Man, I disagree with you there, my friend. Martin Bissig, support from a concerned Swiss citizen. Hey, Martin, I am so glad you're here, my friend. Your voice is very important in this conversation. You know, having a global audience is priceless. It is priceless to get those point of views from around the world. But yeah, that is just that. But it gets way worse, folks. That's not even the worst part. That is, I mean, it is not. That is not even the worst part. You remember when we talked about how that, this was just straight up murder? Them blowing up boats, no due process, no evidence beyond trust me, bro. And then they did a lie of omission. They tried to say, oh, well, we blew up this boat because it was hauling drugs out of Venezuela. Then we find out, no, the boat was returning to shore. They tracked that boat. That boat turned around and was headed back to shore. So the whole trust me, bro, evidence thing doesn't fly. It doesn't fly at all. It's murder. It's a crime. And you've got officers in the military freaking out about this. I mean, they've really created a disaster here. They've ended people's careers over this. Jeff Schuler, this is right out of Project 20, the 2025 doctrine. Loyalty vetting phase is probably done. And now a pink slip party, also probably a doctrinal change. Well said, sir. Well said, Jeff. Well said. Exactly where I was going to. We got a summation coming up. That's exactly where I think this is going. Because on top of that, you have this. This is Corey Mills. The Republicans have a bill that the White House has been circulating and wants the Republicans to get in line on. And Corey Mills is championing it because he needs to suck up to Trump really bad. If you pause to read that bottom paragraph there, it says, Rep. Corey Mills has recently faced accusations that he has benefited from federal contracts while in office, that he assaulted a one-time girlfriend in his Washington apartment, and just this week, that he threatened another ex with the release of nude videos. Real prince of a fucking guy. This is from last month. He's in trouble. He's in deep shit. And he's trying to earn himself into Trump's good graces and getting Trump to throw his weight behind him because they have come up with a bill. I call it the Trust Me Bro Murder Bill. That completely makes it okay that they murdered people. This Republican bill gives Donald Trump the authority to murder anybody without any due process. All he has to do is look at you and say, it is so vaguely written. All he has to do is look at you and say you're a terrorist. And he can kill you without due process. And they want to make it legal. Folks, this is not hyperbole when I said this. Do you know how many German laws that Hitler broke when he murdered millions of people? Can anybody guess the total quantity of laws that Hitler broke when he murdered millions of people? So I love you people. Y'all already know. 0. None. He didn't break a single law because his legislature is just like the Republicans. Trump commits murder. Trump breaks all the rules of engagement. He just straight up kills people on nothing more than trust me, bro. And these Republicans are floating legislation. They're floating a bill that they're probably going to slip it into next week's budget negotiations. Either pass the Trust Me Bro murder law or the government collapses. You choose. And then our country's gone. Folks, President Obama deported 3.5 million people. President Biden deported more than 4 million people. And neither one of them dismissed the rule of law. They proved their cases in court. They did what you need to do to have freedom. You have to have a court system that makes the government prove its case. Donald Trump is, just willy-nilly deporting people. We have people from Alligator Alcatraz that are missing. They're just gone. There's no record. Nobody knows where they are. They just vanished. You've got the guy running all this, Tom Homan, that's been caught in broad daylight, taking $50,000 in bribe money in a bag. And they're refusing to look at it. They killed that case. Amlo Bovey killed that case. Kid B08, thank you for being here. There is some serious shit going on now. Yeah, there really is. There really is, folks. Agent Caden John, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for always being here. This is really going on, folks. This is really going on. But I want to stress some things to you. One, when you see this shit happen next week, and if it turns out to be exactly what we think it is, where they demand loyalty oaths out of the officers, they purge out officers, if that turns out to be the case, and they pass this trust me, bro, murder bill, I don't want you to panic. And for God's sakes, don't be violent. That plays right into their hands. Do not be violent. Let me say that again for the people that may not have heard me. Do not be violent. That is the worst possible thing you can do, is be violent. That plays right into their hands. That plays right into their hands. But do not panic. Do not stress. We will fix this. We will overcome this. And I just want to be completely clear. You hold the power. They can try and do this shit. Let's say they do it all. We have midterm elections coming up. And now you're going to get the people that, God bless you, you surrender in advance by saying, oh, but they're not going to let us vote. I'm not asking. I am not asking. I am going to vote come hell or high water. You're not going to take that from me. And if you try, this is what we're going to do. We're going to shut this motherfucker down. All of it. All of it. We're not doing it. See, that was the thing. They keep looking at this Nazi example, and they don't understand why it's not. Why isn't it fitting into the? Why isn't that puzzle piece fitting into the puzzle? Why can't I force it into existence? You know, they dumped $100 billion into ICE and threw out all the recruiting rules and went and dumped a ton of money into white supremacist organizations. That's why they wear masks. It's why they wear masks, so that you can't identify who they are. And you can't see that they're militia members from down here, down south here. That's why they wear masks. But more and more blue governors are saying, no, you're going to identify yourself. You're going to have your agency. You're going to show your face. You're going to do what every other law enforcement does, because we hold the government to account. That's what freedom is. We make the government prove its case, show who they are. This is what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to get ahead of this, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to scare the shit out of them, because they really think that they're going to be able to do this in private and quiet. We're going to let them know there'll be repercussions for this. All you're doing is making us vote harder. But if they try to interfere with the vote, I will not surrender in advance. I will not wring my hands and say, oh, they're going to try to keep us from voting. I'm not asking. I'm not asking. If they try to interfere with our democracy, if they try to do this, they try to come up with this fascist military takeover, which it looks like they're going to try. They're going to fail, but they're going to try. We hold the power. A country of 330 million people that does not want to be governed cannot be governed. If you have more than 1 million of us, that's all it takes. You're not even talking about 1%. You're talking about a fraction of a percent that stop playing the game, that stop participating. This shit stops. And when I say this shit, I mean all of it. All of it. See, none of this is guaranteed. None of this. Nothing, not a job, not the economy. Your stock that you call yourself a billionaire for owning, yeah, that's fake money. That's not real. It is literally only worth the paper it's printed on. And if we shut this shit down, yeah, you're just another poor like the rest of us. Except for you got more bills than we do. Folks, the power is in your hands. As long as you do not be violent. And I have to stress that to you. Gandhi is a perfect example. The strongest empire in the world at the time was the British Empire. And yeah, it took time and it was painful. But a bunch of unarmed Indians peacefully drove the British Empire out of one of their wealthiest provinces. They made a lot of money off of India. A lot. And the Indians showed them the door. You can do it much faster because you've had the lessons of history. You have social media, which they will eventually, if they go this route, folks, I will go away. They will take me away. If they don't lock me up in a freaking prison cell to where you never see me again, they will simply shut this shit down. Remember, all of this that we're doing this on is controlled by the government. So what do? You get involved. How many times have I said this? You network. We are a society that has become alone. We sit in our homes. We look at our phones. We don't socialize anymore. This is what I'm telling you to do. You have time. If they do this next week, you will walk outside the day after they do this, and the sun will still be shining. Your job will still be there. Your children will still have school to go to. The world will still be spinning. And you will have time. Because while Martin Niemöller's poem is short, and they will eventually come for you, you have time. And we will make it count. We will make it count. But what does that mean? Let's assume the worst. They try martial law. They try all of it. What do you do? Well, the first thing you're going to have to do is be networked together. Because it is one thing to shut the internet down. It is one thing to shut YouTube down. It's one thing to shut Blue Sky down. It's one thing to pass laws that say you can't disparage the government, which is the next thing that will come after that, is you can't say anything negative about the government. What do you do in that situation? Well, it's quite one thing to do all of that. It's another thing to turn all of these off. SF Kathy, thank you, Paul. You set such a great example. They've been preparing their plans and building momentum for years. How do we peacefully disrupt that momentum? Exactly what I'm talking about right now. Barbara Lanke, could reputable people in the military be planning something to counteract this illegality? No. There is no, people have said this over and over again, and I understand the sentiment and the desire to want the military to stand up for itself, but historically, that does not happen. That doesn't happen. It doesn't. They're going to follow orders. They're going to follow orders, and these Republicans are going to make those orders legal. Tiger Butterfly 44, thank you for being here. Teacher from Oklahoma received his Trump Bible yesterday. The only constitutional amendment in it are 1 through 10. He said it is the wrong constitution because it has the 3/5 compromise in it. Jesus Christ. Jesus. We're going to be talking about Oklahoma schools on Sunday, by the way. There's been some news out of that. Jim Jabber, the morale on the ships must be pretty low, feeling shame, no doubt. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of anger. Nationwide strike. Yeah. When the government fears its citizens, we have democracy. When the citizens fear their government, we have tyranny. Yes. That's why I love you people so much. You keep saying, well, what are we going to do? But you keep telling me what we're going to do. Turner, thank you for being here, brother. Love your icon, by the way. Everyone should be requesting vacation time, take PTO or sick time on November 4th, 2026 and 2028, full stop. Yep. If they don't want to create a national holiday to vote, create one. On your own. Create one. They can't fire us all. They can't. And that's where I'm going with this. New West bill, raise your wallet, not your fist. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Amen. Amen, Brother Bill. This is what you're going to do. Lonnie Johnson, yeah, dude, right on. Glad to see you on board. This is what we're going to do. If all of this, Crafty Ash, thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Wonderful show. Yeah, shut them down. Okay, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what you're going to do. I've said this 1,000 times. Get involved with your local Democratic Party. Do it. Go to the meetings, meet people, exchange phone numbers, and socialize. Okay? Do it. Do it. That is one of the best ways to network. It is. It's one of the best ways to network. So that if they shut everything down, they can't shut all the phones down, folks. They can't. The government can't operate that way. They need you to go to work. They need you to keep everything going, or they govern over nothing. Do you understand? You have the power, not them. But you must be able to exercise that power. Because you alone is nothing. They will lock you up. They will kill you. They will do it, and you will just vanish from the earth, and no one will know your name because they will delete you from history. But in numbers, they can't. If 1,000 police officers show up to barricade a public building, 10,000 people can walk peacefully right through them, and they can't stop them. They can't. Sick outs. These are the type of things that you do. If they try to go down this road, you make rich people poor again. You eat beans and rice. Yeah. You shut your wallet completely. You force everything to close. And then if it comes time to they start becoming violent against U.S. citizens. They attempt the full-on totalitarian stuff. All we have to do is sit our ass down. Sit our ass down. Not just national strikes. Not just Crafty Ash, I appreciate you. Not just national strikes. Not all of that. Not just that. But if it really comes down to a test of wills, you don't have to be violent. You don't. Veggie Allegro, my response to this is to collect food for the hungry and cook food for the guys who help people. Amen. Amen. This is why you network together, because people like Veggie Allegro have great ideas. You know, strikes didn't work because guys just stood up there and took a beating. They worked because people behind them made food, coffee, brought clean water, bandages, and medical care. You network together. And if it gets really bad, you go sit your ass down in a port. Yeah. Will some people get hurt? Of course. Of course. Because there will be sheeple. There will be MAGA that are more than willing to hurt us. I will be there with you. I will be on the front row. I will take the beating first. But we will force them. We will force them to do it. We will shut down ports, rail stations. We will shut this whole motherfucker down. 330 million people that will not be governed, cannot be governed. They just can't. And you can do all of that without destroying a single piece of property or committing a single act of violence. The power is in your hands. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very verbose. They're going to talk about what they're going to do and this, that, and the other, and how they're not going to be drug off to no camp, and they're not going to talk in violence and stuff like that. It's a natural emotion to have. It is. It's dumb as dog shit, but it's a natural emotion. William, take it to the streets like we did in the 60s. Amen, brother. Amen. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Not only will you win this over economically, but those types of actions win hearts and minds. What they're doing is desperation, because they know they can no longer win without cheating. They can't win unless they deny you the ability to vote, unless they make it super difficult to vote. There's a law right now they're trying to pass that says that they're going to make everybody re-register to vote, and you've got to have a passport. How many of you don't have passports? Just out of curiosity, you in the chat, how many of you don't own passports? George Allen, got to get ready for my guitar gig. See you soon. Hey, break a leg, brother. Knock them dead. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. How do you think it's going to be possible for the United States government to issue 100 million passports before the next election? No. We're going to end up fighting that out in court. Real ID doesn't work in their new legislation. Yeah, they went to all that shit with Real ID, then everybody did it, and they realized, oh, well, this didn't work to keep them from voting. Damon Dog, Real ID don't cut it. Doesn't cut it under their new legislation. You have to have a passport and birth certificate. Yeah. Do you think the government offices are going to be able to handle that load? No. You already did it all for Real ID, but then they're going to say that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Because they know, man. They know which way the wind's blowing. And they know they've committed crimes. They know they committed straight up murder and then bragged about it on the news that they did it. They know repercussions are coming. They know that the Democratic Party has changed. It's not full of, let me tell you about my policies and why my policies are better. No, it's full of people that are like, oh yeah, come on, let's do this. I'm going to treat you like you've treated us. And the last thing a bigot, white-ass Republican wants is to be treated like he treats everybody else. That is the last damn thing they want. So who's with me? No violence, but take no shit either. Do you think you can network together? Do you think that you can get out, visit people? I'm telling you, I am telling you, don't dismiss that. Get more social. Meet up with people. Talk to people so that you've got those relationships so that you can pick up a phone and say, hey, man, you know what? Yeah, they're trying to make it illegal for people to have opinions, and we're going to go protest that, man. Hey, let me call Doug. Hey, let me call Cindy. Hey, I'm going to go to this protest about you know that shit you've seen on the news about how they're going to cut. Oh, you didn't see it on the news because didn't make the news because they won't allow us to talk about it. But they're telling you opinions are illegal now. You want to go protest that with me? You can only do that. You can only do that if you're networked in. And that's what I'm going to spend my time doing. I'm going to try to get more people involved. I know there's an entity that already exists to make that happen. It is your local Democratic Party. It is your local Democratic Party. They already have systems to set up emails to network people together. They already get together once a month just to look each other in the eye and talk about, hey, are we still on the same page? Are we doing the same thing? This is the shit that's happened. This is what's gone on. This is our plan for dealing with it. That already exists. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Trader hater. Very few people can shut down commercial trade by protesting the truck stops, Flying J, Loves, etc. Yeah. And even if you can't shut it all the way down, you slow it down. Oh my God. You're talking about billionaires changing their tune really quickly. Eric Moyer, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate you being here, brother. Yeah. I can't stress to you enough. Do you understand that you hold the power in this situation? Pete Hegseth can fire everybody with a star on their lapel, every single one of them. And it will not matter because they cannot control you. Turner says passport cards are $65 versus $165 for a passport. They will make it as difficult as possible. If this legislation gets through, it's going to be a pain in the ass to vote, but you're going to have to do it anyway. Chase Tauscher, just like what the UK tried multiple times. You can shut highways down, all of it, just by sitting your ass down. Brenda Edwards, thank you for being here. And folks, let me tell you something. We have Black Friday coming up. You want to send a message? If they don't chicken out, with the shit that they're going to try to pull next week with these officers, if they don't turn that meeting to, something, oh, they were worried about nothing because, if they don't panic and chicken out next week, you can destroy Black Friday. You can. Close that wallet. No billionaire sugar daddies, no more Republicans. It's that simple. It really is that simple. You hold all the power. And yes, it is easy to gum up the works. Tube Kurt, please produce media, even if there is no internet. Texas Paul, folks can pass USB sticks hand to hand. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go away. I'll print a newsletter. I will travel. I will meet, but I'm going to do it. I've already found a system. The local Democratic Party already has a system in place for people like me to show up and speak. And they can network together. That's one of the things that we're changing right here. Smith County Democrats, Henderson, all these local county Democratic parties. A couple of meetings back, I pulled together and said, hey, why are we not coordinating together? Why are we reinventing the wheel in each county? We are geometrical. This is Texas, man. We drive 30, 45 minutes and it's nothing. It's nothing for a Texan to drive 30, 45 minutes. This is just the way we are. Why don't we just centralize and get this whole region, all the ships sailing in the same direction? And they're like, yeah. Let's do that. And next thing you know, I step back and they're having conversations about, sharing email technology and different systems that they're working on. And you can do that where you're at. Joan Prim, I don't have a passport. I never had one. You're going to need one to vote if they pass this law. Richard Lawton, thanks for helping us keep the faith. I lose heart sometimes. Don't ever lose heart, brother. Don't ever lose heart. It's all about the people. I Cannot stress this enough. A country of 330 million people cannot be governed if it does not want to be governed. Marie Crabtree, wow, out with a big support. Thank you very, very much. We must peacefully fight for our nation. That is the last thought I'm gonna have for today. If you get violent, you give them every excuse. You give them every excuse if you get violent. They can cut the military loose on you. And they're going to. That's where this is going. This change in the rules of engagement, and it is to allow them to utilize the military on you. If you are violent, you give them the excuse they need. If you are violent, you will lose hearts and minds because you will be the bad guy. You must keep your moral authority. It will be painful, it will be hard, and it will take time. But the only way to win this is peacefully. Alan, MAGA are going to have fewer passports than us. Yeah, this is not a zero-sum game. Everything they tried Real ID was supposed to end the Democratic Party. That was the desire behind Real ID, and then we just all did it. Oh, it's mandatory? Okay, I guess we're all going to go do it. This isn't going to work either. They can keep trying to do things. The one thing, the two things that they do have that are straight up cheating that they've been able to get away with that do work is the signature matches, because I'm sorry, if I'm signing a piece of paper this big, my signature is different than if I sign one of those little plastic cards like down at the DMV, the little plastic slot where you do the digital signature. My signature is different. It's different. And then they come up with these ridiculous standards for signature matches, and they try to throw out ballots based on signature matches. That really works. We end up having to sue about this. We end up having to cure ballots like crazy. They make it hard on purpose because every step that they add, a few people fall out, and they only need a few points. That works. And the other thing that works is limiting access to voting places. And if you don't think I'm kidding, I am a blue dot in a red ocean. I live in a Republican district. I don't wait to vote. I don't. The longest I have ever waited in one election only happened to me one time is I had to wait about 20 minutes once. Ask every person in this audience right now. I want you to chime in. If you're in a red district, how long do you have to wait to vote? Sherry Purpura, keep your morale with authority. Word. Thank you. Mary, thank you. You're a true leader. Not a job I want. I want to be fishing, but I'll do it. I'm not going to let this shit fly. I got grandkids. I got kids. I'm not giving this shit up. I'm not. They're making me do it. Yeah. Me neither, Kelly Armstrong. Me neither. I don't, RK here is 10 to 15 minutes max. I usually don't wait. I walk in with my ID in hand. I hand it to the only wait I have is on the printer printing my ballot. And I'm voting, man. Katie Cockrell says she's had to wait 45 minutes before. That is not typical in a red area. It isn't. Damon Dog, 10 minutes usually. I'm telling you, if you live in a red area, these Republicans, they'll let you just pew, 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 one vote after the other. But if you live in a blue area, ask some of these people what their wait times. If you live in a predominantly blue area in a red state, like Texas, if you live in Dallas or Houston or San Antonio or Austin, how long do you have to wait? Or if you're in Atlanta proper, if you're in, Charleston, or if you're in, how long do you have to wait to cast your vote? Minimum. In most cases, it's 20 minutes to an hour. But these Republicans have made it much worse. We had a district over here, it's a blue district. Folks were waiting 4 hours to vote. That works. That is the kind of cheating that works. Amy Manuel never have to wait because I am the election judge. She can tell you. That's the kind of person that you need to know. Amy Manuel right there. That's the kind of person you need to know. She's plugged into the system. She is plugged into the system. 2 hours in Flint, Michigan. So yeah. Have you heard me say once out of my mouth that this is going to be easy? I ain't going to bullshit you. But I am going to tell you, even if they do the worst of what we fear next week, you will step outside, that sun will hit your face, the world will still be turning, you will still have a job, your kids will still have a school to go to, but we will have work to do. We will have time. Don't panic. Okay? That's what I have for you today, folks. I really appreciate you. I love you being here. Thank you for being here. You're a wonderful community. If you're watching this on replay, make sure that you hit that panel button down there in the lower right-hand corner so that you can see the live chat, because I'm telling you, this really is a group show, and they're having parallel conversations, additional conversations in the live chat. You don't want to miss it. If you're watching on a mobile device, I think you got to swipe to the side on the comments to bring the chat panel up. But yeah, enjoy some Texas cities at night.